Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to class number 2 on meditations and on death and the end of death. Uh, so I'm gonna give you a brief outline of today's class. Last class we saw the first two contemplations of Jetson Kappa. That was the problems of not meditating on death. Remember, Mr. Petty, and the benefits of meditating. And we did two meditations. Today, we will cover the next two contemplations of Jetson Kappa, what kind of death awareness we want to develop, and how to meditate and develop death awareness. And we will do two meditations as well. So can we please put the slides, please? Thank you, Marina. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we know we're gonna die. I think we figured it out when we were like, I don't know, 10 years old or something. We all figured out we're gonna die someday, right? But I think there's a little part of you that doesn't really believe it. There's a little part in your mind, in your thoughts, that you think you will be the first exception. And there's a little part of you that doesn't really think about it. And there's this little voice that says, oh, not really, not me, or maybe. So that's like a great obstacle, because as we talked as we talked in the previous class, uh, if we don't meditate on death, we will waste time and have a petty life. And so that's a great obstacle to don't really acknowledge that one day we will die. And if we really acknowledge and we practice well death meditations, our life will change like radically, as we've been talking about it. So we're gonna do the first meditation of today. So please get ready. This meditation is called emptiness. Why emptiness can protect. And in this meditation, we will go quickly through the visualizations of the elements of your body dissolving when you're dying. And they say these are general visualizations we must all undergo in this process. So this is like a great training for that process whenever it will happen to us. And again, this meditation is from the from our great teacher, Geshe Michael. It was taught on the Gift of Liberation number 23, 10 years ago in Diamond Mountain. And as I said before, it was one of the most beautiful retreats I've been to. It's a very beautiful and deep meditation. So let's get ready. Please relax your mouth, relax your forehead, relax your fingers, tuck in your stomach a bit, shoulders leveled and back, very straight spine. Close your eyes, soften all your face. Slight Mona Lisa smile. Please come to your breath. Inhaling, exhaling deeply. We will do 20 rounds here. Inhaling and exhaling deeply through your nose. Your mind wanders, start thinking about something else, please come back gently. Now, please invite someone special to meditate with you. If you have a heart lama, invite them. And they happily come knee to knee. And you feel their lovely presence. Now confess to them some mistake you made. Now think about something you or someone else did, something beautiful. Now ask them to please teach you and keep teaching you, especially about how to meditate on death and how to help others meditate on death and raise a proper awareness of death. Ask them to please stay and see them come down to your heart and stay. Now see yourself, your deathbed. All your loved ones are looking down at you. They are crying. They know they won't see you again. They love you so much. And you feel the warmth leaves your body, legs and arms very cold. Trouble to breathe. Nose closes up. Body changes color. No more blood moving. This body is dead. And you close your eyes for the last time. You can hear a distant crying faintly. Everything becomes black, almost nothing. Then suddenly you're in a valley surrounded by mountains, big mountains. And the mountains suddenly begin to shake. Huge earthquake. Huge mountains falling over, earth cracking. And you start running and running. And then suddenly a huge wave, like a tsunami, crashes over you. A strong current carries you away. You're fighting to pull your head up. Traveling across the tide. Finally, the water disappears, and you're in a hot desert. Very hot. The flames reach down to the earth and cover you. Fire burning inside of the desert. You are inside of it. Very hot. Then suddenly a big storm comes. A tornado. The wind is knocking your body down. Whirling currents. And slowly, the wind gets less and less. Just a breeze. And everything gets quieter and quieter. And then silent. You look ahead and you see a mirage. The subtle element of earth is dissolving in the subtle element of water. And you keep walking towards the mirage. You pass through. Things seem to get smaller. Then you're surrounded by smoke. All gray, thick smoke. Not hot, just smoke. The subtle water is dissolving into fire. And then you start to see sparks everywhere. Like if you're surrounded by fireflies. Sparks everywhere in the smoke. And you keep walking through the smoke and sparks. At the distance, you see a steady flame. And you keep walking towards it. As you approach, it gets bigger and bigger. And it's a complete still flame. And you come closer, closer, and pass through. Everything becomes dark again. You see the horizon black. And very slowly, the daybreak begins. White light in the sky. fills the whole sky. Soft white light. And you keep walking ahead. And then a red sunset in the horizon starts spreading through the whole sky. Everything becomes red, thick red, like sunset. And you come closer and closer and pass through. And in the other side, there is complete darkness. And go deeper in the dark. Make it darker, darker, complete, absolute pitch darkness. Can't see anything. And in the other side of darkness, a crystal inside of diamond. And you get this sudden feeling that there is nothing that is not coming from you. Stay there. Try to feel that the only thing that appears to you is total, pure, absolute emptiness. And you recognize this is higher reality. This is the absence of anything that is not coming from me. Stay there. And gently come back to your breath. 3 long breaths. Slowly open your eyes. Stretch. So this is a very beautiful, deep, and long meditation. We went through the visualization a bit quickly. We're doing 2 meditations today, but you can get a sense of that's they say like this is like the standard visualizations we're gonna undergo when we die, so we can get a sense and we can train on them. And they say we will come to a point when we die when we will come to emptiness. But normally like 99.99% of people don't recognize. So if we train well, we can do something. But they say, come on, let's do it while we're alive. If in our lifetime it's very difficult, imagine when we die. So let's try to practice and let's try to touch the diamond world while we're breathing alive in this life. Like great guest Michael now is joining us, and he wants to give us this beautiful transmission, and he's telling us all he's giving us like his beautiful advices on how he really did it. So we should try. We should try with all our might, right? Mm, let's see the slides. Can we change the slide, please? So, what kind of awareness do we want to develop? So really, we want to have like a healthy fear of going to lower realms and dying with regret. I think one of the worst strategies that can happen to you in life is dying with regret. And dying with regret, it means you never did death meditation, you never prepared yourself, you didn't live a spiritual life, and then you die with regret. And knowing you will die, you will really like waken up to achieve like your wildest dreams and to really open your heart and mind. So we really have to practice so we don't die in this world state of mind called Kiepa. And it's a very, 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 very bad karma to die with regret. I'm gonna tell you a story. I remember we were in this program in Mexico City, and I remember in that class, like great guest Michael turned to us and he said, and all of you Guadalajara guys, every time you don't practice properly and you don't succeed in your practice, like people are dying. And we were all like we're all like very like moved when he said that to us. And then we came out of the program, and then in the streets of Mexico City, they shot this lady. And I remember my friend Hero, some of you know him. He went to see, like he got closer because then the police came and everything. And then he came to the lady and he said the lady was like, they shot her and he was like about to die. And she grabbed his hand and she was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And she had never seen him in her life, and that was like her instinct. When she was about to die, she was like, please forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. She was regretting there in that moment. And we should raise an awareness, a proper awareness on death, that we don't have to be regretting when that day comes, right? And I think most of you have heard this story when Great Michael says his teacher Ken Rinpoche would call him, and he had like this Star Wars voice, and he would call him to his room with this bell, ding ding ding, and then Michael had go up to his room, and then he said he called him one day like ding 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 ding, and then Michael went quickly running up the stairs, and he was like, sit. He sat down, and there was the TV, and there was like this girl with the lottery balls. And I guess Michael was like, I don't understand. What do you want me to see here, teacher? And he was like, sit, see. And he saw, and there was like these lottery balls, like, and then one came up. And then the girl was like, number 48. And Ken Rinpoche was like, see, that's how death is. That's how death is. And English Michael was like, whoa. And he was teaching him that when you die, next slide, please. When you die, your seed are like lottery balls. And the ones you plant when you're close to death are more prone to be the chosen one. And that lottery ball will dictate what happens to you next after you die. So that moment when you die is very, 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 very important. We've all heard about the priority karmas, the seeds that will ripen first. So the seeds that will ripen first in your life is first in, first out. That's the one you did first in life. Meaning the one you did when you were 4 years old will ripen first than the one you did when you were 20 years old. So that's the first. As long as there's no other seed that you did currently as a habit, okay? And that will ripen first. As long as there is no other seed that you planted close to the moment of your death, and that will ripen first. As long as there is no other that was done with great power, great intention, and towards a powerful object. So after the most powerful seeds, the ones that will ripen first are the ones that are closest to your death. So death meditation really helps you to prepare these lottery balls. And then the question is, so how many days are the time closest to your death? And I've heard some teachers have said 3 days. I've heard some others have said 1 week. So, and then the reflections we've been doing since the previous class. So when are we gonna die? Do we know? Like, we know the date, the time? No. So knowing all this, we have to be very prepared. And death meditation, as we said, helps you to prepare those lottery balls. And we know the moment of death is crucial. And as we've been talking about it, you can ruin your whole lifetime practice with a bad moment previous to your death. With one very bad moment, you can ruin your whole lifetime practice, and that will be a tragedy. So we have to be very well prepared and prepare everything to die properly. Next slide, please. Prepare everything to die with no regret, and take care of all things you have to take care. We must die with grace, elegantly. Don't leave, please don't leave any unfinished, unresolved business. We have to really die, like take care of everything. Don't leave loads to your family, to your kids, to your brothers. We have to die like so. We have to prepare everything. And the best way to prepare, as we've been talking about it, is to have a good practice in it. And the fourth point of the 4 contemplations of death of Jetson Kappa, the third one that we're talking about is the death awareness we want to develop. And the fourth one is how to meditate on death. And we've been talking about it since the previous class. We know there are the 3 classical concepts of the classical death meditation. Death is certain. You don't know when it's gonna happen to you, and only your practice can help us. So please explore different meditations in our lineage. As I've been saying, we have many material, beautiful material and meditations. And I will repeat this again and again and again. Please, we must prepare ourselves. That's why I wanted to do these classes, because there's, like, I remember I did these meditations like 10 years ago, and there's a lot of material and beautiful teachings on how to prepare ourselves for death. And then when you all like receive the transmission for the diamond way. In October, you will get even more fascinating and beautiful materials. So we can really prepare ourselves so we can help others prepare themselves. I like to say that for someone who is in ignorance, death is like talking about the awareness about death. For someone who is in ignorance, like 99.9% of us, death becomes like a stopping point, like the end of something. And we feel it like the end of me. My body, my body is crashing down. I am dying. And if if we view death like that, then it involves a very painful grasping. And that process will be like extreme suffering because like Aldo is dying. But I think if we practice well and we follow the teachings and the advices of our holy teachers, then we will have wisdom, we will have correct view. And correct view is like living accordingly to that correct view. And I like to say that for someone who has wisdom, death is only a transition. Death is like awakening of a new world, a new perception. So you can say, next slide, please. Death is like putting on a new shirt. And obviously, if you practice well, you will get a more more beautiful shirt and more proper for your practice that will get you closer to reach the goals, right? But I love this metaphor because if you say death is like changing of shirt, it helps. Well, it helped me like take away a lot of like taboos and fears and stigmas about fear, about death. Sorry. And then the best thing to do is you should identify with this wisdom, with this correct view, and this must become your next slide, please. This must become your sadhana in life. Your sadhana, your spiritual practice, is lived by this correct view. And then if this become your sadhana in life, then every instant of your life is your sadhana, and then every instant of your life you're anticipating. And then your sadhana prepares you. It prepares you for a good death. And if you really do a good sadhana, then you can even transcend it, right? Can even end death. That's like very, very, might hear like very, very pretentious, but it is true because if death is coming from us, then you can change the seeds, right? So the sadhana will prepare you to die. And then death will become like a ceremony. Why? Because you lived a beautiful life, and then you are prepared to it, and then you will get like a beautiful new shirt to keep walking your path. And if you have a very, 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 very good sadhana, then you will touch the diamond world. Like great Geshe Michael is like the ultimate example. He knows he said it, he knows where he's going. He has seen his next new lives. And I think that feeling, that's wow, that's like so beautiful and inspiring. Said that when he went, he has this uh, kidney problem, and he went with the doctors, and the doctors were like checking him, and he was like so like relaxed and happy, and the doctors were like, what's wrong with this guy? They were like so impressed. He's not scared. Like, what do you do? What do you guys do? Like, you have a problem with your kidney. And he was like, and I think in a way, knowing where you're going, it's like one of the greatest feelings. Can we put the next slide, please? uh and that's one of the greatest feelings you can ever have. I don't have that feeling, but I can feel the feeling that someone that has that feeling has. And you can see his smile, and you can like hear his words and feel his, and it's just so inspiring and so beautiful. And because you are not scared anymore, and you knowing where you're going, and that's like one of the greatest reliefs, you know. And as we've been listening to the teachings, when you touch the diamond world, you only have 7 more lifetimes, right? 7 more lifetimes, but every you know where you're gonna be born, you know what's gonna happen to you next life. And that only comes because you had like a good death meditations, and you had a good death awareness, and then you have a beautiful sadhana in life. So as I said, we have to make our life our sadhana, and that's the best way to prepare for death and to anticipate death. And if we do the sadhana so well, we can even end death, transcend death. And we're gonna talk a bit more of that in the next class. So basically, let's live by our correct view and make it our every word, our every thought, our every action. And it's difficult. I know it's very difficult because our brain is wired. How can I say, like, improperly, because we keep seeing things this way, and we keep thinking that some things in our life don't are not coming from me, and then we engage in them improperly, and then we get afflicted, and then we get mad, and then we get jealous, and then we start blaming others, and then we're trapped there in that cycle of incorrect view. But then we must make the correct view our sadhana in life, and then we will start doing beautiful things, and we will understand that everything we see are just seeds projecting from how we treat others. And then we will start to open more our hearts and minds, and be more kind, and serve others, and be patient, and honor and respect others. And then that's the practice, that's the sadhana. And in a deeper way, that's the best way and the only way to prepare for our death. Right? So we're gonna do meditation number 2. So please be ready. Let's get ready for meditation number 2. This meditation number 2 is also called Why Emptiness Can Protect. We're gonna go a bit deeper. So please Straight spine. Soften your face, your mouth, your eyebrows. Let's start breathing deeply. 20 rounds of breath. Deep, long, soft inhales and exhales. Your mind wanders off, please come back gently. Now see yourself in the deathbed. Your body has shut down. You can listen to your family that loves you crying faintly. Then everything becomes black, deep, deep black. Absolute black. And you see yourself standing in the vast horizon. The daybreak begins. There's a soft white light in the sky. White light. soft, white, moonish light. And you keep walking ahead. And in the distance, you see the horizon starts to paint red. And then a red sunset in the horizon. It spreads through the vastness of the sky. Everything red, thick red. And you keep walking and you come closer. And then you pass through. And in the other side, again, complete darkness. And go deeper in this darkness. Make the dark darker. Can't even see hand in the other side. Complete, absolute darkness. Vast, profound. And then in the other side of darkness, there's a crystal inside a diamond, shining. And then you get again this feeling, this profound, beautiful, joyful feeling that there is nothing that is not coming from you. Stay there. Try to feel that the only thing that appears to you is total, absolute, pure, sheer emptiness. You recognize it is higher reality. It is the absence of anything that is not coming from me, that is not coming from how I've treated others in the past. Then feel strong joy, strong feeling of joy, and a strong happiness. The state of mind which is best to see emptiness is deep happiness, deep joy. And feel this deep joy of understanding there's nothing that is not coming from it. deep happiness connected to that understanding. There's nothing that's not coming from me. And that makes me feel a great joy and happiness. That's emptiness. That emptiness is me, the new me. And if that was me, I could help billions of people. I could be anywhere, anyone, anywhere, and help billions of people. I want to be that. That's a good me to be. Stay in that feeling. I want to be this Buddha to help countless worlds, countless people, forever. Stay there. And please come to your breath. 3 deep breaths. Don't move yet. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and stretch. So that was the end of the meditation and the class. Thank you. Thank you, Roxana, for translating. Thank you, Marina, Svetlana, all the tech people, thank you. And thank you everyone for coming this morning. This is the end of class 2. And next Saturday we'll have the last class, class number 3. We still have 5 minutes for questions. If you have any questions, comments, remarks, you can just open your mic and share with us, please.
Buenos días, maestra. Gracias por enseñar. Escuché.
Oh, I see Barbara has a question in the chat. I've always wondered what was the meditation, what was the actual meditation Geshe-la was doing when he touched the diamond world. And this seems like a strong candidate. And then she asked the question, what was the meditation he was practicing? Great question, Barbara. To be honest, I don't know. I think they've asked him this question several times, but I've never heard like the answer of which meditation exactly he was doing in training and leading up to us so that we can like keep practicing and planting the seeds. And remember, he said it's like this touching the diamond world, it's like this big ocean, a wave in the ocean that started like many lifetimes ago, and we have to make it this lifetime, we have to make the wave crash. And in a way, I think it's not the meditation he was doing in that moment that triggered his perception of touching the world. It's like a subsequent progression of beautiful practice of opening your heart and your mind and serving others and achieving shamatha, like one single focused concentration. So it's like, so I think it's not that important which meditation they have ourselves. And it's just like one of the most beautiful seeds that you will ever have, like ripening, right? To have our sadhana in life, right? Our spiritual practice and that correct view and all our training and all our practices. And I think if we do it well, then eventually, I remember he said, all of us are gonna touch the diamond world soon, maybe 2 million more years. I don't know, but we're on the way, and we must follow his advices and keep doing what we're doing. And obviously, meditating on death, it's a must, right? It's a must. And I think as I said, one of my intention to do this class is because there's so much content, and I think one of the most beautiful teachings and important teachings of Buddhism and of our lineage are the teachings about death. And then if we prepare ourselves, we can help a lot of people to be prepared, and we can help them in that crucial moment. Yeah, thank you, Barbara. And I don't know if we have any other question. what should be done with the seeds of deep depression? Beautiful question. Beautiful question from Esmirnova. Well, I've heard from the teachers that they say that a depressed person, one of the characteristics of the depressed person is they are like very focused on them, constantly focusing on them. So I think a beautiful practice can be to help that person to get involved and engaged with other people any way they can. I know it's very difficult, but sometimes you can like just take the depressed person and so he can like get involved and engage with other people and maybe help them in some other way. I also recommend that you see like a professional that if there's like a deep depression, it's good to see like a professional doctor that can treat that. And you can also like start like planting those seeds of trying to help other people. And there's also like these beautiful tonglen practices where you use your depression. You see like yeah, you you feel depressed and you like do a huge tonglen of all the people that are depressed and let that depression of all the people come to me, and I will do like a big tonglen of the depression of all people, and that helps a lot too. And yeah, I think that maybe people here have some other advices, but I think uh, one of the most useful advices is to try to get the depressed person involved in seeing other people and helping other people. Also gratitude, yes. Gratitude it's a great practice too. But I know that when you are like immersed in a deep depression, it's very difficult to like get out and see other people or to meditate, or so that's why it's also good if you can see like a professional medic. Okay, so that's the end of the class. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful weekend. See you next week. Thank you, everyone.